Welcome to IQD Dinar News, your go-to source for the latest updates on currency exchange rates, revaluation news, and insights into the Iraqi dinar. Stay informed and ahead of the curve with our timely analysis and breaking developments. The RIA is a measure that reflects the value of a country's currency relative to a basket of other currencies, adjusted for inflation differentials. This rate is essential as it helps gauge a country's competitiveness in the global market. When we talk about exposing or making the RIA more transparent, we enter a discussion about economic policy, market forces, and the implications of currency valuation. The transparency of the RIA can have far-reaching effects on economic decisions made by governments, businesses, and consumers. This visibility is crucial as it provides insights into how a currency is performing not just against other currencies, but in the context of purchasing power and inflation. Once the RIA is disclosed, there is often a period during which the economic authorities monitor the rate closely. This monitoring is essential as it allows policymakers to assess the impact of the RIA on trade balances, investment flows, and overall economic health. For instance, if the RIA indicates that a currency is overvalued, it could lead to a decline in exports, as goods become more expensive for foreign buyers. Conversely, an undervalued currency could boost exports but may also lead to inflationary pressures domestically, as imports become more costly. Adjustment mechanisms come into play once the RIA is exposed and monitored. These adjustments may not solely pertain to the exchange rate itself but can also involve a range of economic policies aimed at stabilizing the economy. Central banks might respond to an unfavorable RIA by altering interest rates or implementing measures to influence currency supply. Fiscal policies may also come into play, such as changes in government spending or taxation, to address economic imbalances that arise from exchange rate fluctuations. Moreover, it is important to recognize that exchange rates do not exist in a vacuum. They are influenced by a multitude of factors, including but not limited to interest rates, inflation rates, political stability, economic growth, and global market sentiments. Each of these factors can interact in complex ways to affect currency valuation and, by extension, the RIA. Therefore, the exposure and subsequent adjustment period regarding the RIA must be seen within this broader economic context. Cultural and societal changes further complicate the relationship between currency valuation and economic health. As societies evolve, their economic needs and structures can shift dramatically. For instance, a country transitioning from an agricultural-based economy to a more industrialized one may experience different pressures on its currency valuation than a nation that is primarily service-oriented. These shifts can influence the RIA and necessitate adjustments in how policymakers approach currency management. The dynamic nature of economies means that static policies can quickly become outdated. Therefore, once the RIA is exposed, it may lead to new dialogues and strategies among economists, policymakers, and business leaders. These conversations often involve examining historical data to predict future trends and making informed decisions about currency management and economic policy. In essence, the call for exposing the RIA and allowing time for monitoring and adjustment is a recognition of the fluidity of economic conditions. This approach acknowledges that economies are not static entities, they are constantly changing and adapting to new realities. Hence, economic policies and strategies must be flexible and responsive to these shifts. The adjustments following the exposure of the RIA are not merely technical exercises but rather deeply interconnected with social and political dimensions. Economic decisions can have profound effects on the populace, influencing employment, wages, and the overall standard of living. Therefore, as policymakers make adjustments based on the RIA, they must also consider the potential social implications of their decisions. Balancing economic competitiveness with social welfare becomes a significant challenge in this context. In conclusion, the exposure of the real effective exchange rate is a vital step in understanding and managing a country's currency dynamics. The subsequent monitoring and adjustments reflect the need for a responsive and responsible approach to economic policy. As societies and cultures evolve, so too must the strategies that govern currency valuation and economic management. Through transparent mechanisms and adaptive policies, economies can navigate the complexities of the global market, ensuring stability and growth in an ever-changing world. Thanks for tuning in to IQD Dinar News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For more updates on the Iraqi dinar and global currency trends, hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.